Two German Shepherd dogs have become long-term residents at the SPCA. Both dogs were stolen and arrived here after separate incidents that caused them serious injuries. Boyd has now graduated to the adoption wing and is awaiting a new owner. Evie, his sister, has been on cage rest for 2 months, recuperating from a hip operation.
Evie, no.
She's starting to suffer from the canine equivalent of cabin fever, but today she's getting out and about.
We are here to see Flip, who's a fantastic dog trainer. He hopefully is going to give us some helpful hints on how to correct Evie's biting and the way she reacts with other dogs. We're just having, a little bit of trouble with her right now. A lot of it might be to do with, how she's in a cage, etc.
Vicky and Rachel have done their utmost to give Evie another chance. They're not about to give up.
Both Vicky and I said at the beginning that, we were going to see it through to the end, and I suppose a part of it now is that come hell or high water, we're going to rehome this dog and find her the right home and get her to be the dog that she should have been when she first came into this earth. So, yeah. A little bit of stubborn pride and a little bit of Evie deserves it.
Behavioural expert Flip Calhoun is just the man for the job. Evie's a bright dog and they've got high hopes for her. But one of her problems is barking at other dogs.
I'm just using a no command when she's barking and then trying to get her into sit and then straight away trying to get rid of pressure. Because the more I hold her back, the more she's going to bark, okay?
Yeah.
Good girl, good girl.
She's also developed a fondness for biting her handlers, albeit lightly.
So she just does this sort of thing?
Yep.
Yep. So as a superior dog, I've actually got these two heads that I can use as well. So, of course, when she bites me, I can chomp her, and then I can chomp her, and chomp her, and I'm very superior. But it will encourage this behaviour. So what we're going to do is play with her, get her excited. In the middle of the game, stand up. Good girl. No, good dog. That's a good girl. Good girl. Then get back down again. Hey, come on in. Play with her again. So here she's getting a bit too rough again now. Stand up. No. Good dog.
The women are thrilled with Evie's progress, and Vicky takes their own shortcomings with good grace.
The effect he has on her when we battle for how many weeks?
Just don't rush it.
So much of what she's doing is because of the routine and the fact that she's just been cage rested and been on the same routine for so long. So by coming here, this is a big day out for her. She's, everything else has got her attention, and so she's not nearly as bored or, trying to make her own fun as much as she normally does.
After an hour of expert advice, Vicky and Rachel feel confident they can correct Evie's behaviour and prevent her from going stir-crazy during her last weeks of cage rest. The pigeon investigation is nearly over, and Karen has found the Vietnamese family were responsible. The woman's son dumped the birds and says he merely liberated them.
He emits to owning pigeons, and his sister apparently got very sick from sitting in the pigeon coop, and he was told that he had to get rid of them all. So he said that he put the pigeons in a plastic bag and took them out to the airport, somewhere in the airport, and released them. He won't admit to killing them. The pigeons, half the pigeons did return to the property, he admits that, and he did the same with the second lot of pigeons, and they have since disappeared. So I'm going back today to give him a written warning, which explains to him basically that if we return to his property for the same sort of case, we will have no choice but to prosecute him. It is frustrating, this sort of case. I feel like it's unresolved. When he could have always rung us and we would have dealt with the pigeons for him. This is for Naing. You give to him? You give to him?
The son's not at home, so Karen leaves a warning letter for him in the hope that he can read it. It's a disappointing outcome, but unfortunately she can't take the investigation any further. The owners of this South Auckland dog have abdicated responsibility and signed it over to the SPCA. The dog's mange is so far gone that the decision is made to put the dog down. Vet Jody Selinsky tries to make its last moments secure and happy.
So this dog obviously has mange, and what the situation is the owners have decided to sign it over to us because they realize that they can't take care of this dog. They don't want a dog that they're going to have to spend a lot of money on and look after chronically for the rest of its life. It just really is the best thing, and this is quite a severe case, and this poor dog just doesn't want to have to live like this. You get infections in your skin. I mean, it's got breaks all over the place. It's terrible. It's got holes all in its skin from just scratching itself down here. And this isn't the kind of life you want, right? You don't want to breed that kind of thing, right?
Like, to a normal person like you or I mean, if you came home and your dog looked like this, you'd have it straight to a vet. But unfortunately, a lot of people just, I don't know if they accept that it's normal. They just accept that it's not really their responsibility, that they need to do anything about it.
The sad part is that this is a quarter as bad as we see it. That's what's sad.
Mange is a genetic condition, but could have been contained if the owner had sought treatment earlier. Now it's just too late.
And now we're going to just go to sleep for a little while, right? I always say it's the best and the worst part of being a veterinarian. It's the worst part because I don't like to part people from their animals, and people are quite emotional, and I don't like to take a life away. And this animal doesn't know how bad off he is, but it's the best part of my job because I can alleviate pain and suffering. I don't have to watch this animal scratch itself raw to death until it's, a pussy mass and dies. I have the power to be able to alleviate pain and suffering, and in cases much worse than this. That's a good boy. Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?
While it's the end of the road for this dog, there may be better news for his brother, providing the owner has followed Tristan's requests to clean up the kennel area. Tristan's returning to the property to see if there have been any improvements in the dog's living conditions. If so, then the owner may be allowed to have the dog back.
There is a kennel there. It's not brilliant, but it is actually weatherproof. He has attempted to clean up the feces, which is good, and I've asked him to set up like a running wire, which he hasn't quite done, which basically means that the dog is able to have more movement than just on the short chain there. It's not ideal, but it's better than what it was.
Tristan's not convinced that the owner has any sense of responsibility at all.
I'll give him a call and I'll have another talk to him about everything. Because the dog's got Demodex mange, he needs to be really aware that hygiene is super important for a dog that has a condition like that, because it's dirty conditions, it's stress, all these sort of things that actually bring it on. He's not getting the dog back until it is cleaned up adequately.
Before Tristan could let the owner reclaim his dog, she had to make sure its basic needs were being looked after. After several visits, the owner eventually complied and the dog was allowed home, with a new collar to send him on his way.
I'm sending him home with a collar, simply because obviously the last, the white dog, they had basically just the cable, they both had just cables or chains chained directly around their necks, and that is obviously what caused the injury to the previous dog as well as the mange. Since I last rechecked the property, I've been back again and done another recheck. He has now cleaned up all that foam and all that rubbish and litter that was there. What I did was I attached the cable to the clothesline, so he's now got a long running wire, so the dog's got access up and down, and of course that will be attached, that will be clipped to his new collar rather than his neck. So as far as I'm concerned, he's got adequate shelter now, he's got better freedom of movement. We just need to maintain that he gets the vet treatment followed up.
Hey, little boy, hey!
There are mixed emotions over in the adoption wing. Boyd, one of the stolen puppies fostered and cared for by receptionist Vicky Border, has found a home.
Good dog.
He's been adopted by a lovely family who are living up north. Unfortunately, they can't be on camera due to this situation with Boyd being stolen. The new family, they've got a lot of time. They live relatively close to a beach. He's going to have 24-hour company, basically, when they go away, they take their dogs, because they have other dogs as well. They take their dogs with them. I mean, he's just going to be in a real family situation, which is just what he needs, because he had a bit of a rough start, and now, yeah, he's going to have a really good life, which he deserves.
Vicky has formed a strong bond with Boyd. She loves him dearly and feels they've been on a journey together.
When he came in, and with the police and the drama, and how he looked when he came in, this poor innocent puppy that's been stolen and you know, given to someone and then ends up run over, comes into us, you know, the major surgery, just the, you know, it's been very dramatic, and he's such a sweet dog. I thought a great deal about keeping him, yeah, but no, we can't. We have 3 dogs already, and we just can't have another one.
Next week, the goats from the monastery find a new path. A dog is abandoned in a locked vehicle, and 2 Sharpies find their accommodation too close for comfort.